The last 48 hours within the Cardano ecosystem has been pretty hectic, with a huge bombshell coming out surrounding the Cardano project, which siphoned out more than $15 million collectively from Cardano and Ethereum. And we just got some news that the Cardax DEX, which was also aiming to be a cross-chain platform, will also be closing its doors. Oh, what is going on, ADA Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed, breaking down all of the latest news and updates going on in Cardano. Hopefully you guys are doing well. What I want to do as a part of today's video is jump into some breaking news surrounding the Cardax DEX, which is officially closing its doors. So we're just going to jump right on into this one. This is a little bit unfortunate. I just shot a video no more than 24 hours ago surrounding the recent findings about the Cardano platform. Now, Cardano was a similar protocol building within the DeFi space, not only in Cardano, but as well as on Ethereum. And they managed to take away more than $15 million from the ecosystem. Now, we don't have any of the financial information surrounding the impact of the Cardax DEX, which will also be closing down its doors. But as it states at the very top, Cardax ceases operations, and then there's a link to read more about that. So before we jump into that, as always, if you guys do enjoy these videos, I would appreciate you guys if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding Cardax, Cardano, or any other projects on Cardano, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. So for those of you who are not aware, the Cardax platform, it was aiming to be a multi-chain non-custodial DEX. So basically offering the ability for people to swap in and out of different tokens. Some of them would be native to Cardano, and you could imagine that some of them would also be native to Ethereum. If I jump over, let's see here into this particular tab, we do have a brief review or brief preview of what the team had built so far. Again, pretty standard here at the very left-hand side. We've got the exchange. We also have access to a bridge and then some documentation surrounding how to get started using the Cardax platform. Now, right in the middle of the screen there, we have the swap page or the swap option, as well as the liquidity tab right next to that, where you could basically put liquidity in or out. And then here on the swap page, you can basically select which asset you want to swap in or out of on which network that you're actually supporting. So that's just the brief overview of the actual platform. But let's jump into the breaking news, which is the actual announcement of their closing down of the Cardax platform. So it states here, and this was released earlier, I believe on September 7th, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, but it reads, "We regret to inform you that after careful consideration and a thorough evaluation of the current state of the crypto market, we've made the difficult decision to discontinue the Cardax DEX offered by our company." Now, they're going to be actually providing a pretty thorough letter that I want to jump into here, breaking down everything surrounding the actual closure of the protocol. So I'll leave the link to that down below, but definitely make sure to check this out because they will be taking the website down any day now. So that's actually mentioned as a part of this letter. So this is the official letter to Cardaxians. I'm not going to reread that first part there. That's basically what I read off of that tweet. And it just kicks things off here. First and foremost, the cryptocurrency market has experienced a substantial increase in volatility in recent times. The highly volatile nature of cryptocurrencies has made it increasingly challenging for us to maintain stability and security within our DEX. The unpredictable price fluctuations and market trends have created an environment that is no longer conducive for reliable trading and investing. One of the biggest things that I noticed about this particular reveal of them actually closing down the platform is that they didn't state any other or any clear specific reasons other than just the current market conditions. Now, keep in mind that they are not the only ones facing the bear. NFT projects, other DeFi protocols, other DEXs, other Oracle platforms, everybody is facing the bear market right now. So what I think this ultimately comes down to is the fact that, number one, they just weren't getting the adoption that they were looking for. And then number two, they're probably running low on funding to keep the protocol running. Keep in mind that at the end of the day, there are real people behind these actual protocols, and they also need to make their ends meet by getting paid. And if the protocol isn't generating any revenue, then again, that basically doesn't incentivize any members on the team to actually stay and support the platform. Now they jump into into different aspects, which include the regulatory landscape, alternative solutions, potential buyers, lack of user adoption, etc. And as you guys can see that I did highlight a few sections, which I do want to cover here with you guys. So with the actual regulatory landscape, they just kind of talk about the fact, that within the Netherlands, which is where they were based out of or founded, that there has been stricter requirements, right, which have basically led to increased oversight on cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, to that, it states complying with these regulatory demands has proven to be a significant challenge for us, requiring substantial resources and efforts. And despite our best endeavors, the regulatory burden has impeded our ability to provide a seamless and compliant trading experience on our DEX. Now, when I read that particular paragraph, I initially thought that the main reason why they were shutting down was just due to regulatory hurdles or regulatory burdens. But as we'll continue, you guys will actually see other factors that also played into the Cardax platform closing down. Now, when it comes to alternative solutions, it reads, in an attempt to salvage the situation, we explored alternative solutions, such as transitioning to another blockchain network, and they actually believed that migrating to a different network or blockchain would provide them with a fresh start and potentially allow for them to attract a larger user base. This was one of the biggest things that I mentioned in my video late yesterday surrounding the Cardano platform. And that was the fact that they initially had a seed funding round where they raised more than $9 million US on Ethereum, basically spent that, right, gambled it all away, and then turned right back around and then came into the Cardano ecosystem. So a lot of times when some of these projects are expanding and they already have issues, it's to basically keep them afloat. And I think that's exactly what we saw here with the Cardax DEX. Now, I stated this in my last video as well. We have to be extremely careful when these projects make moves like this without actually having a solid user base in one single ecosystem. So that was one of the things that stuck out to me there, was that they did try, and again, to be fair, they did mention that they are going to be a cross-chain DEX, but after trying in one ecosystem and not necessarily getting the traction that they wanted to, I think that they thought, if they left or if they reached out and basically tried to build on another network, that would then bring in the much needed liquidity. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that when you do jump over from one ecosystem to another, for example, if you're jumping over from a proof of stake network over to proof of work, because they have different consensus mechanisms and different security measures, as well as just the overall fact that they're built on different infrastructure, you have to understand that development will basically take a toll on the project as well. So not only are you trying to catch up in one ecosystem, but by branching out into another, you have to do double work, right? Trying to rebuild what you've already built on another network with just as much funds as before. So you're really spreading yourself thin there. And so that's basically what is highlighted here in the following paragraph, where it states, however, despite our efforts, this transition has proved to be more complex and resource intensive than initially anticipated. The technical challenges and the need for extensive migration procedures hindered our progress, ultimately leading to an unsustainable path forward. So that's going to be it there surrounding alternative solutions, which again was just basically them trying to branch out and find a new user base on a separate network. Now, they did also try to sell the actual platform to other buyers, but again, keep in mind that if the offer doesn't necessarily look attractive to somebody coming in and there's no benefit for them, right? There's no liquidity, there's no users, and there's no community. There's no incentive for somebody else to come in and basically keep the project afloat. And so it reads here with respect to potential buyers. Additionally, we did explore the possibility of selling the company in order to ensure the continuity of the DEX. Now, that did not work out as they planned, and it states that unfortunately, we were unable to find a suitable partner or investor who shared our vision and could provide the necessary resources to sustain and enhance the platform. Again, I think it's a two-sided equation, right? Cardax has to get enough liquidity or enough money by actually selling the platform, but whoever's buying it needs to be incentivized and has to have their own reasons as to why they would want to come in and purchase a platform like Cardax. And if they don't have anything to show for it, again, that doesn't necessarily give the Cardax platform any leverage in that particular situation. So I believe we are getting close to the end here. We are at the second to last point. And this is going to be surrounding the lack of user adoption, which in my eyes is probably the biggest reason why the Cardax DEX platform actually failed to gain any adoption or traction, not only on Cardano, but as well as on any of the other networks, which include Ethereum, on which they were supported on. And so it states, lastly, we deeply regret to inform you that despite the high anticipation surrounding our DEX, the user adoption and liquidity on the platform remained disappointingly low. We acknowledge that this may be attributed to various factors, including the fiercely competitive nature of the cryptocurrency exchange landscape, the limited availability of trading pairs, and the lack of comprehensive marketing strategies. I don't think I need to add anything there. We have seen DEXs on Cardano really have a lot of competition. Obviously, the MinSwap platform has led the frontier, but we also have the likes of ViFi. We also have Wing Riders, Sunday Swap, Muesli Swap, and a few other lower market cap platforms bringing the same exact features to the network. On top of that, we also have the fact that their marketing just probably wasn't up to par. I know that for me, this was a project that I'd barely heard of. They did have a pretty big following, not only on Twitter, but also on Discord. But I think that with respect to marketing, they probably could have done a better job to get their name and their brand out by, number one, paying for advertisement, which I think any good business needs to do, but then also bringing on a lot of brand ambassadors and supporters that could then give them the much needed visibility that they would need to survive. Now, I'm not sure about the actual trading pairs, but you could imagine that if you don't support trading pairs that people want to get in and out of, there's no incentive for them to actually come on the platform. So maybe the trading pairs was actually the most important, followed by the competition and then the actual marketing. Now, last but not least, I want to jump into some of the news surrounding the CDX token, which is going to be the governance token for the Cardax DEX. So following this decision to close down the platform, they want to let the community know that they will also be closing down their website by the end of August of 2023. Now, I'm shooting this in September, so they'll probably be shutting this down any day now, especially as people now are getting the news. So again, make sure to go ahead and grab anything you might need from the actual platform before they close it down. Now, this means that the DEX will no longer be operating on September 1st of 2023, which again, right now it is the 7th. So I would assume that any day now they'll be shutting this platform down. Now, the Cardax token, which is going to be the CDX token, will be organically phased out of circulation due to the cessation of the Cardax DEX, rendering its utility null. So if you hold the CDX token, I am deeply saddened to inform you that that token will now basically be worthless. So this is the risk that we run here as early adopters within this particular space. Of course, a lot of us are looking to create generational wealth by supporting platforms that we, number one, believe in, but the number two, that could have an impact on the greater community in and out of crypto. Now, because of the nature of crypto as a whole, I am always hesitant to just cover any project, and this is a clear example why. You don't know which ones will make it, and you don't know which ones are having financial troubles, but we're all here trying to figure this space out on our own by doing our own research. So again, with respect to the CDX token, that will be basically useless given the fact that the DEX is closing down. So last but not least, token holders of CDX have the option to keep the tokens in their wallet or trade them on the open market. Cardax will not be releasing any more tokens on the market, but again, that doesn't really help or hurt the situation because the token is basically useless. So whoever is able to pull out their liquidity first basically has the upper hand, and whoever's getting this news late will basically be getting the short end of the stick. In closing of today's video, I do want to note that they will also be closing down their Discord, and I assume that they'll also be getting rid of their Twitter over the course of the next few days or weeks. That is going to bring me here to the end here for today's video. The past 48 hours have been pretty hectic within the Cardano ecosystem. Not only did we get the financial impact of the Cardano rug pull, but we're now getting another DEX closing its doors. Let me know what you guys think down below. What can we as a community do to support these projects? Obviously, not everyone will make it, but it's our job to do our own research and to keep up with these projects as they develop again in this emerging market, which is blockchain and crypto. As always, if you guys found any part of this particular video to be helpful or insightful, I would appreciate you if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the Dapp Central YouTube channel and you appreciate content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions surrounding the Cardax DEX, Cardano, or any other builder on Cardano, then as always, make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, I will see you guys in the next video.